Welcome to After 8 Hours, featuring your mans, JackJack1620.
Yep.
And me, JayTI7N. That's right,
God.
it's me. Also featuring Mott's Assorted Fruit Snacks, which randomly have carrots.
Yes.
It blows my mind. Anywho, yeah, After 8 Hours, let's get to it. There's been a lot in Pokemon Go-ish. Since the last time we did a podcast, and we've been alluding to it, but Megas finally been released. One of my favorite kind of small changes, I don't know if you want to call it small, is they increased spawn rates everywhere.
That was a much needed change.
So big popping everywhere.
Love it.
Absolutely love it. We've been advocating for that for a while now, so I've been pretty pumped.
Thank you, whoever from Niantic was listening.
Yeah, thank you. Please listen more.
Appreciate it.
Also, sponsor us. Anyway,
yes.
Well, you want to get into Megas? It seems to be... I thought it would be universally liked, because everyone was always like, I'll get into Sword Shield for a second. Okay. Everyone was like... Or even when Sun and Moon came out, and they did the dances. What are they called? Z-moves? They did Z-moves, and everyone was like, well, fuck Z-moves, bring Megas. Because Megas came out in 6th Gen, X and Y, and they universally changed the game, competitively, but also in-game. In a lot of RPGs, you call it a power fantasy, which is kind of funny. But
is that
power fantasy? So in a game we'll just use Destiny because that's one of the ones I'm closest to. It's called Power Fantasy. You're supposed to be this all-powerful character. You're the Guardian. You're imbued with the power of light. You can summon, lightning from your fingertips or dip into the power of the void or the power of the sun from a hammer or something.
I always just considered it digivolving.
Yeah, I so, when you're in that in Destiny or whatever, you want to feel powerful. So the weapons and the abilities that you use, they just destroy tons of enemies or whatever, and you call that a power fantasy. You feel like you're the Guardian. You feel unstoppable.
That
Same thing.
Dome.
Skyrim and all 1,000 versions of Skyrim.
1,000.
You're the Dovahkiin, right? You're the Dragonborn. You can slay dragons with your voice, let alone your axe or your magic hands or whatever. It is what it is. But anyway, so in Pokemon, I always thought of Megas as sort of fulfilling that. I've been training with this Pokemon the whole time. I have this sick bracelet on. Let's do something crazy. And then they Mega Evolve. And you're oh shit. Mega Evolution, what the hell is that? And it takes some of your favorite Pokemon like Charizard and Gengar and Mewtwo. And it gives them an extra stage. Like you said, now that I think about it, I agree with you. Kind of like Digivolving, Digivolve into Ultimate, Digimon, Pokemon monsters, Pokemon are the champions. So Mega Evolution was really popular in after Gen 6, and like I said, it kind of changed the game in terms of the competitive scene. Yeah. And the rules with Mega Evolution was only certain Pokemon could Mega Evolve.
Correct.
So you had to have, I think it was a Mega Stone essentially for each Pokemon, and you had a bracelet, and you could only have one Mega Evolution per battle. No matter how many were on your team. So even if you had 6 Pokemon that could potentially
Mega capable.
Right. You can only use one in battle.
Okay.
And at the end of the battle, it devolves, quote, devolves, unquote, back to its original state. So Charizard, one of the lucky Pokemon that have 2 different Mega Evolutions, Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. Then they have even different typings, because Mega Evolution gave you different typings, different movesets. You'll see later on in Pokemon Go, if you aren't familiar, Mega Ampharos actually becomes Dragon Electric, which is why when it got the Dragon move during its Community Day, everyone's like, oh, this must be a nod to that, or something like that. Anyway.
Wow, that was years ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Damn.
But with Mega Evolution, you're sitting there and you got these pretty badass upped Pokemon. Like I said, Pokemon like Charizard had, you could either do X or Y. And it's exciting because they're really powerful. The Mega Pokemon are really powerful, and they look cool. Most of them, I think they did some of them pretty fucking dirty.
Yeah,
Gyarados. I'm looking at you.
Salamence.
Yeah, Salamence
looks like a crescent moon.
Some Megas are trash. Some Megas are pretty cool. Mega Aerodactyl, I think, looks pretty cool compared to normal.
Yeah, he's pretty bulky. Houndoom, I should have got cooler.
Houndoom is kind of whack.
He has just a giant shield chest thing, bone thing.
Mega Lucario's pretty cool.
He is.
A lot of people
Mega
like
Blaziken.
Mega Gengar, and Mega Sceptile's
Sceptile.
funny. But anyway,
Swampert.
so there's a ton of, not a ton, but there's a good number of Mega Pokemon out there. But again, the rules for Mega Evolution was 1 per battle, and you can only pick 1 even if you have a full team of 6 of them, and it lasts until the battle ends. They devolve back into their normal state or whatever. Now you can Mega Evolve the next
battle.
So like you run into Youngster Joey, he throws out a Rattata, and you're like, well, fuck you, here's a Mega Mewtwo X. You're like, okay, well that's not cool, but whatever. You destroy that kid's dreams. That's whatever, fine. And then you run into Fisherman Justin, who has 5 Magikarps. And then you're like, well, fuck you, I'm going to Mega Ampharos, and I'm going to zap all your Magikarps. Like, you can do that, but again, you can't just have a Mega Pokemon indefinitely.
And you can't just have a team of Megas.
Correct. So, those are very important rules.
Yes.
But, real quick, everyone since then has always pined for them. So whenever, like I said, Z-Moves came out in Sun and Moon, which was a Gen 7, Alola region. Z-Moves came out and everyone's like, well, these are cool, but fuck that, I want Megas back. Bring back Megas. Megas should be in. Like, okay, that it doesn't work that way, but okay. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, they actually had Megas.
Yes.
But only for the first 151 Pokemon, which there are a good number, like Aerodactyl, Gengar, Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Beedrill, etc. But there's still a lot more in the other generations. So you got a little taste of it back again because people pined for it, and then Sword and Shield came out, and they're like, "We're not doing Megas. We're gonna do Dynamax," in which people are like, "Oh my god, that's fucking stupid. They just get big." I love it. It's like
I love it.
It's like kaiju battles.
Yeah, I was like, do it.
And
Mega Pika.
What I didn't expect was the Gigantamax for Sword and Shield, in which it, similar to Mega Evolution, they change their appearance, they get stronger, they get a special move, etc.
Yeah.
You can think which way or the other. I like Gigantamax better because I just recency bias, and I like kaiju battles.
Understandable.
I like the feel of Sword and Shield versus Megas. But anyway, Megas have always been favorites in the community for regular Pokemon.
Right.
Regular quote-unquote Pokemon. Well, they finally brought them into Pokemon Go. And we've had this discussion a number of times. How are you going to do Megas? Because I wasn't sure. None of us were sure. I thought it was just going to be something similar to where, like, okay, I have a Charizard. If I use 400 Charmander candies, I can have 1 Mega Charizard X or Y. And then
it stays with
it keeps in my party, and I keep that around, but I can't Mega Evolve any other Pokemon unless I devolve that Charizard or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is what I thought might have happened. Or you might have been able to have multiple Megas, but you can only bring 1 Mega into a battle party or something like that. So Niantic threw a curveball, and they're like, hey, we're going to do it. One, we're going to give you a whole new resource that you have to manage. Mega candies, and they're specific to each breed. And so then we're going to make it to where if you're, well, at least for the starters for now, they're locked behind raids.
Yes.
So like Charmander, Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur can all Mega Evolve right now. And the other one that can Mega Evolve is Beedrill.
Yes.
But anyway, those 4 can Mega Evolve right now, but the 3 starters, you can only get that Mega Energy through raids.
Yes.
As far as I know. And it's pretty interesting. It kind of updated how you might raid. The faster you do the raid, the more energy you'll get, Mega Energy.
So with that, it requires people to spend more money than they probably need to.
Yes. And
that was people were like, it's a cash grab. And there's pros and cons. And I think for a lot of people who aren't familiar with the original games, Megas has just been a mega disappointment to them. And in every post I see from Niantic of just like an image of just like fun or like a wallpaper, people can't seem to just have a bunch of verbal vomit of their frustrations and their anger toward the game. And again, I always remember this is a game for kiddos, If you're getting so worked up where you have to be just negative as hell in every attribute of Facebook, whenever they post I would maybe take that internally and take a break from the game.
Yeah, if you're upset with it, step back.
For like
real.
The game's not holding you to any sort of performance or requirement that you play the game to X amount of level. And like I was seeing people literally getting 999 mega candies and being like, "What do I do now?" And I'm like, "Why would you ever max it out?" Like
out. Yeah,
that just seems wild. Like, granted, if you max and you're fast, they've updated it because when it first started, you could get like 50 candies if you beat it within like a minute. Then it'd go down to like 45 and 40, and I didn't see anything lower than 40. But if again, it comes to having the teams. But now they've updated since they've heard the complaints, which again is showing that Niantic is reading up on things and seeing what people are writing. And again, I haven't honestly seen, and I don't think Niantic would ever want to make like a complaint column or a complaint resource in the game. It would just be people talking about how shitty their day is and just needing someone to listen to it.
Well, like, blaming it on Pokemon.
Like, I was having a great day until I played Pokemon and this Charizard wasn't shiny, and it should have been since I've done 20 raids.
Yeah.
And it should have been shiny. And I'm like, the game doesn't owe you anything, son, so back the fuck up. And I know I was even in some comments where people were just being negative, my perceived negative. I'm like, hey, guys, like, Niantic doesn't owe you anything. Chill out. It's cool. Like, relax. Like, there's other things to do in the game. You don't have to do raids. And some people didn't like that comment. I'm like, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah.
I don't also have to hear your opinion either. But it's one of those things where this game, and with Megas, I think if anyone who's played Pokemon Go for longer than 6 months should be aware of, is that whenever something rolls out, the first day or the first week, it's gonna have fucking bugs, just like anything else. And like we were talking about before we started the podcast, which I think is great to remind people, we're still in a pandemic, son.
Wait. Are you telling me there's a pandemic?
I guess, like, the rest of the world's not really dealing with it. It's just America. Like, our neck of the woods is silly. But it's one of those things of Niantic is, like, their main headquarters is where? Like, in
San Francisco.
Which is pretty much, like, everyone's working remotely. And anyone who's working from home right now could attest, who works on computers or has to use a computer to do their work, can attest that communications between teammates is hard.
Yeah.
And especially, it's not impossible. Sometimes it's just difficult. Sometimes coworkers want to text message you. Some of them want to call you. Some of them are completely convinced being in person is the only way they can function, and without that, they are just in shambles.
Yeah.
Others can excel through computers, but there still is the overlap of information sharing and like testing and all that needs to be done that sometimes falls through the cracks.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, just to tack onto that real quick, is like, you know, you're working from home, especially if you're like in a team environment or in the service industry, in the sense of like, you know, like you and I both work in similar fields, you know. In which case, like, I think one of the biggest issues is motivation. Like, you have to motivate yourself. You have to be a highly motivated person to be able to work from home efficiently. Because I do have days where I just fuck off, like, legitimately.
You're like, bye.
Hopefully my employees are listening. Hi. But really, though, there are days where, like, I'll just, you know, I'll do a couple of tasks or do whatever I need to make sure no one's, like, relying on me or whatever. But if it's, like, self-driven, motivated work, sometimes I'm just not there in the right headspace. So then I feel like I just wasted that day. You know, and that becomes a lot more frequent when you're working remotely, because, like, you know, unless you're in a completely different atmosphere or whatever, you know, I work from home. No matter where I am in my home, I can feel that way. Yeah. You know, and you try to separate, like, you know, one of the stratagems would be to, you know, separate your place of work and where you live or sleep or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, it'd be nice if you had an office or something like that to work in, and that kind of helps, but at the same time, you can still very easily fall prey to the same sort of, like, motivational issues. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that extends to game development. Game development in itself is very difficult.
Yeah.
And yes, it's a little easier if you have a large backing, if you have a large amount of money, like Niantic does, compared to like some indie game developers out there, like, you know. But at the same time, like, it's still very difficult, and even more so with this remote working situation. And like, it's very similar, and I'll use another game as an example, and we talked about this briefly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen, but there's that new Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics, Marvel Avengers game that came out, and you know, on paper it sounds fucking awesome. I can play with my friends as the Hulk, as, you know, Iron Man, as Thor and Black Widow and all the Avengers, and we can go like wreak some havoc, you know. We can save the world, and it should work fine, you know, with current technology. And like, that's a very good studio, Crystal Dynamics. If you're not familiar, they have made Tomb Raider games, like even the most recent ones, and they made the Deus Ex games, two very well beloved franchises. You know, so like, whoa, shit, they have their hands on Marvel Avengers, and then like the cast and the writing teams on Avengers is also fucking amazing. That's awesome, you know.
But what happened with the game?
But what happened was, well, it's not very well optimized. Like, it doesn't work very well on any system. It doesn't work well on consoles. It doesn't work well even on PC. So I can have a $4,000 gaming rig, and it still doesn't work very well on there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and a lot of that has to do with, I feel like, the, you know, remote working, because like it's very difficult to pinpoint those things if you're not in the same room as some of your team. Like, QA/QC is already difficult enough as it is.
Yeah.
Quality assurance.
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna have to break up the acronym
as it is when you're you know, in an office environment with the same people where you can like real time check bugs and things.
Yeah.
When you're remote working, it's like, I'm sending you this file. It has 5 million lines of code. I need you to find the one that's not working.
Yeah, and then, again, people open things up in different ways. You might miss something. Anyone who's worked in Google Sheets understands that, or in Google Drive understands that. If you're not working in those platforms, like, there's technical issues that can take place. Or some, again, me uploading a file, sometimes it doesn't register on your computer just yet.
Yeah.
Sending an email, sometimes it doesn't go through the Ethernet, whatever you want to call the interwebs.
The magical internet.
Yeah, like I press send and it somehow translates that over, and there's issues. And again, I've always said, these are trials. Niantic's done great this year in terms of trials. Like, it ran GoFest, the first of its kind in terms on a global scale.
Yeah.
It had its hiccups, and they were accountable for it.
Mm-hmm.
They did fundraising again for other groups. That was great. That was a new thing that we've seen in this game for them. Safari events, they had to adjust because, again, their game plan starting 2020 was not to be remote. Clearly.
Clearly not, yeah.
Anyone's was not that. Like, everyone's like, 2020, this is my year. I'm going to get things done. And obviously, the world was like, sucker.
Yeah,
and threw that curveball. But again, they've been trying to make those adjustments, and some people, I feel, forget that. And I'm not saying this is not an excuse for Niantic to do shitty work. They shouldn't. But it's understandable that there's going to be hiccups along the road and little obstacles. That's going to be with anything great. There's going to be those hiccups.
Yeah.
And with a game like this that's constantly evolving, that has new players coming in, players leaving, people with different phone reception and blah 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 blah, it's gonna take a lot. And they backed out of things like when they were gonna change the requirement for the bit systems, they backed out of that. And those are other little adjustments that Niantic's made, and some of those players who are just constantly negative, I kind of feel like maybe this is your time to take a break in some honesty.
And like, I 100% agree with you. If you're not happy with it, if you're not happy with the game, just step back from it, bro. The game will be there.
Yeah. And
you can always come back to it. It's not like your login credentials will change. And yeah, you're not hitting your dailies, but what are dailies right now in Pokemon Go? Like,
right. And,
you know, like, it's not necessary.
And with the Megas, like, because people are really mad about the time. Why is it temporary? Why is it only 4 hours? And in my mind, I'm like, are you guys battling this hard to where you need, like, this Mega form always? And my answer or my thought is no, because I don't see these people at tournaments. I don't see these people battling for fun or talking about battling or how to figure out how to do that. Most of them fucking struggle just to knock out Sierra or Cliff or Arlo.
Yeah.
So, like, if you guys are like on that realm of struggle, like pick your struggle. Like which one do you want? Like do you want a Pokemon that is just mega but you can't be this person? Like it doesn't make sense to me. Like people who I've seen not prioritize battle are upset about this, and I'm like, it's temporary. Granted, I'm glad they adjusted the candy increase for megas, and we all knew, like we all had it should have been a gut feeling that Niantic would do something, because again, they got to drum up business in some way. Yeah. So it being a cash grab, that is a very suitable like review of what this is. Well, and I think because you have to, like, everyone remote rating, having only 3 passes still makes no sense. No, and if I have monies and I want to just buy it, let me buy it. Let me waste my monies. But because again, some people want to do that regularly, and I see people like, add me as a friend, do this, and I was like, I don't know you, fam. Like I'm just posting up a raid. I can't do all this. Yeah. But with Megas itself, again, there's going to be more to unlock. Right now, they're running the event so we can get Mega Pidgeot for a little trial. Then I've seen through, again, Discord and Reddit that they're bringing out Mega Houndoom and Mega Gengar.
For Halloween, yeah.
Yeah, which I was like, I'm glad. I was hoping for more Shadows stuff, and again, they still have the chance. Yeah. And I hope, again, Niantic, please listen, that they do that. But again, you got to take some of these new changes with a grain of salt. Be open to what it could be instead of just automatically negative. Because again, coming out from that negative point, like some people are like, "Oh, this is never going to be this," and I'm like, "How can you speak on that? Like, what credentials do you have to showcase this?" Like, I still remember when people were saying that about trading. Yeah. When people were saying that about just PvP in general. And they've made those changes, and those things are now active. Granted, there's still some landmark changes that still need to be made. The no trade distance thing, that should be a thing. More benefits for best friends. Like, there's lots of other attributes that they can add, but again, Niantic's not saying they're done making changes. So
right, and they're working on systems at a time, right? Yeah. Like, so right now, the trading system is at a decent level. Obviously, it can be better. PvP can obviously be better. They're at a decent, quote, working, unquote, level for now that they can focus on things. They introduce a brand new mechanic to the game, Megas, and I'll rewind a little bit because I think, like, I would say I think some people are, the angry at the time limit thing. I can kind of see from the standpoint that right now, as it is, the only way to get those Mega energy is to do raids, and the only way to do raids is, well, you have to spend passes. Now you could be very patient like I have been. I haven't really been spending a whole bunch of passes unless someone that I care about invites me to a raid. I might spend a remote pass, but for the most part I still try to use my daily free pass to whatever. So like I'm not out, but I'm also not in a rush to get all the megas as soon as possible because they added a mega dex to that and all that other stuff. I'm not out in a rush to go get those, so I approach it very differently. I'm not as upset about the whole time thing. I'm not as upset because I don't have 999 Mega Charizard candies that I have to burn through now because I didn't go out and try to get every single one of them. Legitimately, the raids that I've done are the one like outside my house and the one up the street from my house. I haven't really, gone hunting for them. I know it's something new and it's something exciting for people to hunt for, and that's cool. But like you have to keep these things in mind. It's the same thing with anything that's paid content for Pokemon Go. Like Pokemon Go Fest. You didn't have to spend $15. Do I think it was worth it? 100%.
Hell yeah.
But like you didn't have to do that, and like you were free to complain that it costs money to have added things in the game, but what you're getting for free is still pretty damn good, I'll be honest, out of this game. Because it's a common game type called a gacha game, in which it's usually pay to win, or it's like you collect these different things. So there's one that's called Arknights, so you collect all your waifus or whatever, and they fight in battle for you. Okay. Fire Emblem Heroes is the same way. Like you get all these different Fire Emblem characters from different Fire Emblem games. Yeah. And you send them out on battle. Well, you have to open up packs to get the new heroes, and in order to open up those packs, you might get a free one every now and then, but it's generally money. And it's generally cheap. It's called freemium for a reason. because the game itself is free and you get a lot of good bonuses for free stuff or as a free game.
Yeah.
However, like if you want to keep pushing on forward, you know, they have relatively cheap incentives for you to buy into.
Yeah.
So in the case of Pokemon Go, like I said, I've been attacking it a little bit differently. I would love to have all the megas. I don't care about having them all as soon as possible. And maybe that's just a different in mindset or whatever. But like,
my thought was always just kind of like, what would I use this for right now?
Right.
And right now, I don't see a point in like maxing out the candy bag right now means that if I am to do raids or people invite me to raids, I don't get that extra candy. So I try to leave myself open. I at least got 200.
Yeah.
So if something's like, because again, I always think of like researches. Oh, get your evolve up to a Mega Charizard right now during this window.
Yeah.
I think of it just like with the Milotic or with Gyarados. Like, evolve a Magikarp right now. Like, all those people, I just think back in the day to where they evolved it because they had it right
because
then.
They had it right before the quest came through.
Yeah, and so people were like, no, I don't have Magikarp candies. What do I do? And I don't want to be in that predicament because, again, I try to think long term. That's why I like my buddies. I'm choosing buddies that I know can have mega forms in hopes that I can get that. So whenever that comes out in the future, I got it. Or like really good IV'd or PvP worthy IV'd Pokemon that have a community day move. I don't want to use my special or those I forgot the name of the TM, but like the different special TMs to where you can get the
elite TMs.
Yes, thank you. The elite charge TM or fast move TM.
Yeah.
Because I'm impatient, and again with hopes that December that they come through like they've done the last 2 years, but I'm gonna hold out for that.
If it doesn't, then you can use the TMs,
but again, it's not critical. I mean, me evolving it right now is not going to affect my gameplay.
Well, and so real quick to that point, I think what's important to note here, in general, and I think just with the chaos that's in the world today and all the negativity that's already floating around, I think not even just Pokemon Go, this can apply to everything. I think we should just be more patient. Ultimately, again, it's exciting to go get all these new megas and things like that. I don't think there's any reason to go for them because, like, in one instance right now for the megas, it's a gameplay loop, in the sense of, all right, I need to go farm all these Venusaur candies so I can go Mega Evolve Venusaur to battle Mega Blastoise. I get all these Mega Blastoise candies now. I can go battle Mega Charizard. And like it's that loop, that continual circle, like. If you want to take it the free route, like I have, I got the Mega Candies for Beedrill. Alright? I can have a Mega Beedrill. I can go out and I can go fight Mega Venusaur a bunch of times with my Mega Beedrill, or at least in that 4-hour window. Now I have Mega Venusaur candies. I go out and find all the Blastoise. I can, and I think that's the intended gameplay loop. Obviously, it's a trial. Because that's the sort of thing you see in a lot of other successful games. Freemium games is what I'll call them. But again, kind of like you're saying with the special quests and stuff, I am in no rush to max out all my candies and get all the megas, because like unless I'm trying to brag to everyone who's also on the same track as me of getting all the same 4 megas there are right now, unless I'm trying to brag about it, there's literally no point. And like the shinies that are available in those raids, so Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard, I have plenty. I'm not hurting for those, so I can kind of see maybe that as an incentive for some people to want to do it. But at the same time, I just think that everyone's like in a rush, and it's like the same thing when a new when a new raid boss comes out that isn't shiny yet. Like it's going to come back and be shiny, right? Like you don't have to rush out and do them all 20 in one day. And again, it's all about how you play and how you want to play and what you get out of it. But like I think we could all afford to be a little bit more patient with everything.
And see, that's where the only time I'm ever going to give Valor a shout out was back when like Steve was here. Yeah. And Steve was more active in playing. He was like, him and his Valor team would go and make sure everyone got at least one, and then they called it a day. They didn't spend the full 3-hour window hunting for like the legendary dogs or legendary birds when they were out for shinies during that 3-hour window.
Yeah.
they would get till they were content and then they stopped. And I kind of wish more folks played that way. Because again, like, no, I don't. The perks I enjoy about it is now I have reason to use the remote passes. Mm-hmm. So now, like, and again, like, Banani could probably speak to it. Like, got in a random Charizard raid early morning, and I just happened to be like, you know what? Banani, because again, alphabetical order shows up. I was like, Banani it is. And she actually was able to jump in. I was like, sweet, I can take this. I just drove to the church right down the street.
Yeah.
And she got a shiny Charizard. And so she was like super pumped. Yeah. And she's like, oh my God. I was like, dude, fuck yeah. Like, that's amazing. And again, for people who, because a lot of us aren't able to interact because, again, social distance, the remote rating is really nice. Yeah. And so I like that feature. I like that people are utilizing that feature a lot. So that, again, is a benefit. It's when the people are past the level of content or satisfaction that it's like borderline obsessing over it. Yeah. That I'm just like,
well, it's just like kind of the justice. Every fandom, every sort of
there's always community. An extreme.
Well, not even just an extreme. It's just everyone gets entitled to a certain point.
All we could think about is that level 40, the verified 40 group back in the day.
Yeah.
Because now, like, you can get invited to raids from international friends.
Yes.
And your Pokemon shows up, and it shows that you're at that gym.
So it's like legal spoofing.
Yeah. So that shit makes me giggle so hard because I'm like, oh yeah, like if you have a friend that can invite you and you're communicating with them, or you know someone who spoofs that's adding you, technically, like, you could be raiding as much as you wish.
Yeah, like I raided with Carla, and she lives in fucking Sendai, Japan. So.
Yeah, and your Pokemon shows up from Sendai, Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
And it shows you at the gym, so, like, I don't think people getting into, like, those pigeonholes of thought.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that must just be exhausting, because
it is.
Give it a few months, it's going to change.
Well, I think if you spend so much fucking time trying to gatekeep people out of something, like, again, we had one of the episodes talking about elitism. I'm like,
yes.
What does it mean to be elite? Is it a toxic mentality?
And the moral flexibility of people.
Yeah, like, at the same time, like, yes, strive to be the very best you can, but at least try to do it, like, with everybody in mind. Like, it's not about, like...
Then you don't have to be an asshole about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we could all just stop being dicks to each other, there's enough of that going on in the world in general. We don't really need it in our own fucking game that we all love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we have a love-hate relationship with Pokemon Go for the most part. I mean, most people at least. And so it's it's a mixed bag, but you get out of it. Like, there's a reason why you keep opening the fucking app to play the game. Like, I think it's one of the most interesting favorite experiences I have in a mobile game. I don't play too many mobile games because I don't see the appeal for the most part, but for Pokemon Go, something about it always kind of brings me back, and like a lot of it is Pokemon and nostalgia, but at the same time, like, I like the systems that are in place, or at least what the systems I think can become. Yeah. And again, that all just fucking takes time, and I have to be patient. So I've taught myself or trained myself to try to be as patient with the game as much as possible. Now, I'm still upset. I don't like the paywall nature of the raids, but guess what? That's just how it is for now. I imagine sometime in the future you're going to be able to get mega candies some other way. Yeah. It's not about raiding 1,000 times right now to max out your back. The other thing is, like, there's no underlying, kind of like you're talking about with the special researchers or whatever, there's no other like underlying reason for me to keep pushing myself to play anywhere. The level cap hasn't increased yet.
No.
So I don't care about experience. So there's no real reason for me to keep raiding. There's no special research out here about Mega Pokemon that's like, hey, like, well, let's look into this more. There's no, like, underlying story. There's no, like, daily quest that's like, hey, you need to battle this Pokemon with a Mega Pokemon or something like that for me to actually want to use Megas. And though if you do that, the rewards better be fucking great, Niantic. Well, but anyway, like...
Well, even speaking of that, like, because for Mega Beedrill, you got enough to get your Mega Beedrill.
Yes.
So I imagine that's what it's going to be for others later on. So again, it's kind of like, why rush now when the likelihood is going to be offered in the near future is likely.
Like, with the negativity thing, like, there's two different fields I see in that, or two different paths I see with that, with negativity. One, there's just negativity to be a dick, and like maybe you're upset that something bad happened at work, or something else, and you're just taking it out on the game because the game is the final
bag.
straw. Yeah, it's a punching bag, and you're like, well, this fucking game sucks anyway because blah, blah, blah. There's negativity for that reason. Then there's constructive criticism, but there's a very fine line between actual constructive criticism and just negative criticism.
Yes.
Constructive criticism would be like, hey, like, I don't really agree with this. Maybe you guys should take a look at it. Negative criticism is, you guys are fucking trash, and you don't deserve to be game developers, and you don't deserve to have $1 billion backing because this game doesn't fucking work at all. Yeah. You know, or something like that. And you see,
there's nothing to build for Niantic to build from or to take from in that.
And you see a lot of that ladder flying around. And again, I think, you know, unfortunately, the world's in a pretty dark place. So, like, all we do is complain and bitch about things. But I think, you know, if you're a little bit more patient, two, if you're actually constructive about your criticism, Niantic's already starting to look at, okay, we understand the paywall aspect of these mega raids isn't really rubbing anybody the right way. So maybe we should look into changing it, and so they're working on different systems in play to change it. You know, now we have an event to get more megas in the game, and the systems will evolve along with that. So we're going to have, you know, we have our Mega Pidgeot, super sick, coming. I figured you'd like that one.
Yeah,
and then
I like the Pidgeot.
Mega...
we got Houndoom, and then it's going to be Gengar.
And Gengar after that.
What I'm curious about, because again, with that being said, there's going to be more megas. And again, I highly encourage people when there's new features in the game just to do some research and see what's going on there. See what it could potentially be. Because again, that's something to look forward to. If you're a diehard player, because all those people who are negative, if they're just going to abandon the game, then so be it. But if they're complaining and want to see better for the game, see what it could be from what the other previous games have been. We have a whole history of the game, and it's still growing, but Pokemon Go is behind it. And again, Niantic has to take its time with each iteration to kind of get things going, get the momentum going again.
Yeah.
And right now, especially, it's going to be shifting. Like, the game from what it was when we... Day one, homies.
Yeah.
It's completely different.
Well, shit, the game from the beginning of the year, again, you know, obviously pandemic and remote play has changed the game for
it feels
everybody.
like 2020, each month has a different, like, boss battle.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm kind of, like, focusing on, like, we lost good people as well. Like, there's been a lot of, like, shenanigans in the world as a whole.
Yeah.
And when I go to Pokemon, I go to see, like, a cute image from Niantic. It's kind of... It can be disheartening when you just see people doing just the negative commentary of like, I hate this, blah, blah. There's a few who've like, can you guys please bring in trade stuff? And I'm like, yes. Like, I agree with you, girl.
Breeding.
Let's do this. But like,
breed me, daddy.
There's a lot of others who are just like on that negative track, or like, well, I did all this, so why didn't I get this? And it's like, again, Niantic don't owe you shit.
They really don't. It's like I was thinking about the shiny thing earlier, because the shiny luck is... It's basically, it's a lottery.
It is.
At the end of the day.
Some people just have better luck.
Just because you bought 3,000 lottery tickets doesn't mean you deserve to win the lottery. I'm sorry. Like, that's probably
it just means you have more resources.
Mismanagement of money, but, you know, it is what it is. And I play the lottery every now and then because it'd be fun to win, you know, a couple $1 million. Or
I want to start playing because I also like that it goes to, like, the national, like... It goes to help, like, national parks and shit.
Yeah, it's an actually, like, it doesn't just go sit in a vault for 10 years, you know, waiting for someone to win it. But, you know, but it's the same with shinies. Like, look, there's some people that hadn't seen a shiny in 1,400 interactions with that one Pokemon, and there's other people, like Zach, my brother, who saw, like, the Love Disc. Out of 8 fucking Pokemon, 8 encounters with Love Disc, yes, 2 of them were shiny, you know, like, and that's not even during a special event for Love Disc. It's just out in the wild. You know, it's just a different type of luck for just about anybody. Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, again, and I'll reiterate what Jack's saying this whole time, Niantic in the game doesn't owe you shit. If you pour money into it, that's on you. And more power to you because you're getting a different sort of enjoyment out of the game. But just because you bought 100 raid passes and you did 100 raids doesn't mean you deserve the perfect shiny. Doesn't mean you deserve different aspects of the game. You're just playing for a chance to get that. And if that's the hunt, if that's what you're in for, more power to you. And if but like I just don't think it's healthy for you to be super negative about it everywhere, because I understand it's frustrating, and you want someone to listen in on your frustrations, but like when it becomes downright toxic, like it's not great for you or your community or anybody around you. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind.
And again, there's other things to look forward to also, just to kind of, I always find it helpful to just kind of refocus energies in ways that can make the day-to-day more enjoyable. So in Pokemon specifically, there's still all the spotlight hours. We have Cresselia returning to raids. You're having Moonducky. You're having more if you're in the PvP, there's the Season 4 stuff will be starting up in, I think, another like 7 days. Have you done any of those? What?
Was that
like Go Battle?
Go Battle, yeah. Go Battle?
I have. I really stopped just because, again, my personal self, I'm trying to I want to get stuff done at my house. I want to help out my family more. Okay. So that's what I've been trying to do.
So you've been taking a break from the game a little bit more.
Yeah, I'll play, I was meeting up with some people who I had lucky trades with, trying to kind of purge my friend list of people who kind of seem like they just stopped playing in general. And again, purging your friend list doesn't mean that you dislike the person. If the person's not active, then they don't need to be in your friends list. That's not. Some people get really personal, and I've talked to some people about their encounters actually at we're at a raid at Olympic Park, and they're telling me how they removed this girl, and then she got super pissed at this guy and was like, I fucking hate you, you should just fucking die. And I'm like, extreme, it's a fucking game and a friends list within a game for children. Calm the fuck down.
A friends list doesn't work very well half the time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But some people get to that extreme, and some people are like, I don't need to deal with that. And I was like, I'm kind of in the same mindset of if I'm looking for people to give gifts and you're not giving gifts, after a couple months, I'm gonna probably drop you. Doesn't mean when I see you in person, I'm gonna be like, oh, you're the person who didn't open gifts forever. I might do that as a fun jab at you, but that's not it means nothing about you as a person. But anyway, there's the Tentacool Spotlight Hour. Articuno is coming back on the 18th. We have Community Day for Porygon, which is great.
That's fucking sick.
We're gonna have more stuff for the Megas unlocked.
Let's go.
With Mega Gengar, I think, is going to be the week of the 22nd to the 28th, which is great. Yeah, that
October
week.
Or September?
September. He's going to be out. Shit. Spearow, I guess, is getting a Spotlight Hour.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
Shiny Spearow, baby.
There's going to be a Victini event.
Yeah, because it'll finally be released to
to everyone.
The plebes.
We have Zapdos returning to raids.
Giving everyone a chance at the birds again.
Cool. And then there's going to be a Halloween Cup. So that's going to be something interesting. It's going to focus on poison, ghost, bug, and dark, and fairy types.
Wait, time out. Is that in Pokemon Go?
In this... Huh?
Is that in Pokemon Go?
In Pokemon Go.
The Go Battle stuff?
Yeah. There'll be a cup.
So they're interweaving basically tournament stuff? Ooh.
Yeah, so Tuesday... So it'll be going from October 26th to November 3rd. So obviously there's going to be more on that. Only poison, ghost, bug, and dark. Fairy type will be allowed. Okay. So there'll be 5 typings. You can encounter the same thing. Again, people who were so nervous last year. Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle are all wearing costumes. And it's going to be of the Great League variety. So the 1,500 CP limit is going to be a thing.
Okay, so they're doing it. That's fucking awesome. They're doing an in-game tournament, basically the same as all our Sylph League Arena tournaments for Halloween. And your prizes or encounters during that pseudo tournament will be the costumed starters. Mm-hmm. Are they the same costumes from last year?
That would be my assumption.
They could be different.
That'd be cool. I do like the ones that they had.
Mimikyu, Pikachu?
Yeah. Like, he's making fun of someone who's making fun of or wearing him because he wants to be admired and appreciated. Mimikyu deserves so much more.
He does. Fuck Pikachu.
I honestly don't want Mimikyu to just show up, like them just pull him from Sun and Moon.
I low-key wish they do Mimikyu in different costumes, not Pikachu. But it makes sense.
True. That would be awesome.
Can you imagine like Mimikyu in a Slowpoke costume?
I've seen Mimikyu in the Eevee forms, in the evolutions.
I'm surprised there's not like an alternative form of Mimikyu.
I think it should be, and he could have different typing if he wears a different costume.
Side note: my favorite part about Mimikyu is when his disguise knocks off in game. Is the top head's just like. It's so creepy. I love it. Anyway, Mimikyu, awesome. Pokemon Go when? Let's go, Niantic. I know you're listening. I know it's Gen 7, but come on.
But again, those are things to kind of look forward to amongst what negativity might be spewing or festering for some people. There's things to still look forward to. And I hope folks are able to.
Agreed.
So any kind of last words?
Yeah, I think everyone needs to be patient. I literally think that. Not just Pokemon Go.
Just in general.
Just take things a little slower. I know Americans are used to being fast-paced.
Which to me is why.
In general. It's just because it's all part of the hustle, baby. You got to hustle to get by, and that's what we've been ingrained into our head for years. So just take things a little bit slower. Good things are going to come. You know, the Mega Raid shit will get, it'll get changed. Or at least updated. That won't be the only way to get Mega Candies. I can guarantee.
I think they're going to eventually change it up to where if you get faster, it's going to be less raids, or they're going to reduce the cost to get Mega.
Yeah, or again, they might not even be raids. It might be a special research just for Mega Charizard and Blastoise and Pidgeot and
honestly,
Salamence.
I kind of wish it'd be like I kind of wish they'd make it more for your buddy. So you can
like
earn,
a best buddy?
Instead of you earning candy, you can still earn the candy for walking your buddy.
Yeah.
But then it's like a default, so it's like every 2 or 5, probably 2 to 5 kilometer, you get a Mega Candy for a Pokemon that
I still think there should be some kind of exchange. So if I can exchange some of my 5,000 Charmander candy for like some Mega Charizard candy.
Like every 100 gets you, or every like 50 gets you a Mega.
Yeah, or something like that. That's steep, but something. There should be some kind of exchange.
Maybe every 10.
It would be nice to be able to exchange items and candies. I know that it would break the game economy and change how everyone would play, but Niantic, you can surprise us.
Yeah. Or make the candies in stops. If they could just drop candies, and it's just like that'd be awesome. Just like they do the gifts, or if they could figure out stickers and add those pointless things into things, I think it's possible for them to add in Mega
Sticker
candies.
Gang, where you at? Raise your hands. Let's go.
Trash.
I love stickers.
Utter trash.
The weird ones.
No.
What was it?
The fact
Trico
that
that's like, draw me like your French girl or
whatever? Yeah, the fact that people can spend coins on that just blows my mind.
I got a gift from Joel that had one that you had to buy in the game, but I was like, Joel, you won't buy fucking bag storage,
but you'll buy this. Joel, stop it, please.
The Enigma.
Just buy fucking bag space.
I love it, dude. I love the chaos. But anyway, yeah.
Goes for it.
Quick reminder. We're in a pandemic. So, be sure to be safe out there, everybody, because not everyone else is going to be safe for you.
Yep. Social distance, please, and thank you.
If you have to, wear a full body condom when you're going out. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's some great things on the horizon for not just Pokemon Go, but just in general, everything. It's already September.
Yeah, if you're not in the rest of the world, there's some great shows like Lovecraft Country.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome one if you have HBO Max. If you haven't seen Primal, please watch it. There's movies coming out. I've heard mixed reviews about the X-Men, the New Mutants.
Oh, New Mutants, yeah.
People hate it, but again,
it is what it is.
Have your own opinion. Go check out stuff. There's lots of Heroes is still serving great food.
Support your local businesses, please.
Piper Inn is still pumping out deliciousness, so please go check them out too. Coordinate with people. If you do, please keep your distance.
Yeah.
Especially with Labor Day and any other social event, please be really mindful of where you're going.
Yeah.
And
it's
again,
pretty easy.
Contact loved ones, show them that you care.
Yes, please do.
That's very important. That's a something that people often forget. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, also, real quick, this isn't related to Pokemon Go or anything, but at the end of the month, I think it's the 26th, which is a Saturday.
Okay.
Keep a lookout for, we're trying to do a monotype tournament for Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay.
We tried to meet up at Mission Viejo, which we got a thingy. We have cones set up for like distancing and snacks and water for everybody in case you're interested. But it's a lot of fun. I'll post up about it on various like Discord and stuff like that. It'd be great to get a little bit of traction on that because it's really interesting. But anyway, again, it's based out of Pokemon Sword and Shield. It's a monotype, so pick one type. You have to build a team around that, and it's important that you build in whatever coverages you think you need. So if you're building an all-grass team, make sure you can cover someone that's going to build an all-fire or poison team against you. It makes it a little bit more challenging. It's a lot of fun. The only bans are mythicals and legendary, so you can have as many OP Pokemon as you want, or UP Pokemon. That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, again, I'm not sure where. I think it was Mission Viejo, but we'll have all the distancing and all the other stuff set up for it, and it'd be great to see everyone out there.
One more thing.
For
Wayfarer, if you're submitting stops, please continue to do so.
We need more stops.
I love seeing those little halos around stops I've never visited that are in my area. So please continue submitting stuff. If you're a level 40 player, I'm asking for your help in submitting as much as you can. You get 7 submissions every 2 weeks.
Nice.
So please submit what you can. Make your area lit. Make parks in the neighborhood like popping with stops. So that way it makes it easier for people who are playing locally to do so.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's about it. Right. Like I said, just love each other. Yeah. Be nice out there. Don't be an asshole.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.